everyone. It's kind of late tonight. I think it's like 12 o'clock. Yeah, that's what my computer says. I decided that I would do a bit of a little vlog of my con prep stuff. And I'm gonna be filming over the course of the next couple of days. I have some things that are going to be arriving through the mail. I ordered some new stuff from Vograce and the Wuakri. Right now, I am preparing for Old Matsuri here in the Jacksonville area, and then Supercon, which is in Miami. I don't know, I'm kind of nervous about Supercon, but I'm hoping that it'll be good because it's probably one of the biggest ones that I've ever been to. So we'll see how that turns out. And right now I am working on stickers. This huge freaking pile of papers are all stickers. I have some glossy stickers in there. Most of these are matte now actually, because I'm planning on laminating them, and I feel like there isn't really a point of using glossy stickers if I'm going to laminate them anyway. These are some of my Pride stickers. I still have a pretty decent stock of them right now. I need to restock on these because I only have like 3 left. These go really fast. These are probably like my most popular stickers. Not Ace specifically, but my Pride stickers. I think the most popular out of those is like maybe the Still Trans Stay Mad stickers. No, actually it's definitely the Still Bi Stay Mad stickers, but Still Trans Stay Mad is a little bit behind that. So yeah, it's for people who are gay and they want everyone to stay mad about it, because fuck you. People, for some reason, multiple people have called them my aggressive pride stickers. Even though that's not the name I've given them, I haven't really given them a name, but they're very popular and I'm glad. They always make people laugh, so yeah, these are the only ones I'm restocking right now. Then I have a whole shitload of these slime stickers. So I've got, right now, you can see up on my screen, and also the YouTube video of somebody playing through Harvest Moon. Right now I'm working on all the Mondstadt characters, but I've kind of been bouncing around so that a lot of different characters will have their stickers made soon. Yeah, I'm aiming to get every playable character and a couple of, I guess, popular special characters and stuff. Once I get all the playable characters done, I'm planning on doing some of like the Harbingers. Jet I'm definitely gonna do. I finished playing through her quests recently, and she is cool. She is as cool as people say she is. So I want to make one of her. These are also very, very popular. I sell, I've been selling a few characters alloy for like the 3 alloy fans that exist out there. Yeah, I've sold a lot of the Archons, of course, obviously. This one I really like how it turned out, this Arlecchino. I think she looks neat. I love her. I'm not sure if you can really tell, but she has the little X's in her eyes too. Yeah, it's a little, there we go, yeah. But yeah, the Archons have been very popular, and I made a few of the popular characters like Child, Nuvolette, you know, things like that. And so I'm slowly going through everybody, and I guess I kind of have a process for it. Like I've been doing like one chunk of characters. So for example, I did all the characters who don't really have a nation, so that's why I have Alloy ready, even though she's Alloy. and then I did like one from each other nation, and sometimes I go alphabetically, sometimes I just choose them based on the fact that they're popular. Oh, and I had to restock on Child because he was so charming. Everybody really loved him. So Sino, I'm gonna be doing Tighnari's next once I finish up all the Mondstadt ones. Like, Yeah, I've been doing that also based on whether they're part of like popular pairings or something. Like, so I finished Sino. That means I need to do Tainari. And Dane. We don't know what his element is, so I thought it would be cool to give him like a galaxy sort of look. Yep. I think he's kind of fun. So yeah, they're all slime versions of the characters. I am honestly really surprised that I have never seen anybody come up with an idea like this. Like, I searched for it. I searched to see if people had come up with something like that, and nobody had. And I was like, what? So yeah, I made them because I'm a crazy person, yeah, and I have brain rot. Ito, I expect that Ito will probably be popular. He's got the little microphone that he used in the latest event. So yeah, these will all be laminated with like shiny holographic laminate, like my other ones already were. But yeah, we got Lumine. Yep. I had to restock on Malleus as well, so he's gonna get laminated and made. Yeah. So the one thing about these matte stickers is that it's hard to tell which side is the sticker and which side is the backing, because you can't. They feel very similar. The sticker part is like slightly smoother than the backing, but I've been checking by like slightly lifting up the corners and but I always worry about, oh no, what if I waste this entire piece of paper? Which I wouldn't, because I could just like put it in on the other side and print it out on the actual sticker part, and it wouldn't really change anything. But yeah, I also did these are paint brushes from Neopets. These are very self-indulgent. I really love you know, I've got the nostalgia for Neopets, and it seems like a lot of people have. I've been seeing a lot of like paintbrush merch for Neopets lately, and I was like, I want to do that. I love the paintbrushes. Fairy. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to think of if I have a favorite paintbrush, and I think it would probably be the Dargan paintbrush. Or actually, I always prefer Mutant Pets, but Mutant doesn't have a paintbrush. Mutant is potions, so whatever, nerd shit. I've got the gray paintbrush, which looks a little bit different, so it's a little, I think it's funny, but yeah. The pirate paintbrush, of course. These are a lot skinnier because they're taller, so I can fit way more of them on these pages. Yeah, you can see how chaotic my layouts of these are. Sometimes they're pretty normal and make sense, and other times I can only fit like 6, because I try to keep them pretty big. I sell these for a pretty decent amount of money, like something of this size with the hollow laminate I've been selling as $4. Buy 2 get 1 free. I'm actually thinking of raising that price. I think that I'm going to sell the ones that don't have laminate for $4. So like these I'm not planning on laminating. They're gonna be matte stickers. I don't know though. Would these be worth $4? They are, considering how much work I put into them. And people don't sell their stickers for enough. I was considering selling the unlaminated ones for $4 and then the laminated holographic ones for $5. So I think that would be, and still keeping the buy 2 get 1 free thing going on. But I feel like that would work. I also, I don't know. Well, a lot of people at Artist Alley undercharge is what it is. So like I see people selling things of this size also with holographic laminate for like $3, and I'm like, honey, no, you should be charging at least $5. Yeah, and I also hand cut these out because I don't have a cutting machine because I'm a fucking idiot, and I don't really have the money for that yet. But yeah, it's like, it's not really worth it unless I can charge at least $4, ideally $5, honestly. So yeah, these are on glossy paper. I ran them pretty low on glossy stickers. I always prefer glossy stickers, honestly. But yeah, these are restocks of stickers that I needed that I am almost out of. So these are like Decora themed stickers. There's a candy, and then there's like hair clips, like, you know, Decora style stuff. Oh. They kind of slide off. And restocking on these Pochita stickers. These have been very popular also. These guys. I had like 16 of them, and they're all gone. Well, I think there's like 2 maybe that are left. And I usually sell like 5 of them each convention. They're pretty popular. Yeah, that's another restock. It's in the same like Decora style. And then my Pokemon stickers. I have charms of these guys, and I also sell stickers of them, but the stickers that I have been selling are too small for how much I'm charging. Like, I can tell that people are like, why are you charging so much for these little things? And I'm like, it's because it would be too complicated if I had a whole bunch of different price points based on the stickers. I'm sorry. So I've made these bigger ones, and the print quality is better, and yeah, these I feel comfortable charging like $4 for. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put the old ones in my little bargain bin where I sell stickers for like I think it was $2 each that I was charging the last time I did the bargain bin. I'm kind of thinking of just doing $1 because I just want to get rid of them. Yeah. But yeah, these are my big boy stickers. There's a bunch of them because I'm pretty low on these now because they are also very popular, even though they're too expensive. But yeah, these I felt kind of bad charging as much as I was for, but these new ones are much better. And then I also decided to do some huge stickers, huge pinup stickers. So this is an original character of mine. I don't expect that she will sell very much. She's just very tailored to me, I guess. Her name is Lisa. She's like very Lisa Frank inspired, I guess. Y2K inspired. She's like, you can't really, hold on. It's a little hard to tell, but she's got like Decora stuff all over her. Yeah, and I figure, why not? She's kind of like my unofficial mascot at this point, and I really like drawing her. So I made some pinup stickers of her, and these are really huge. I'm going to laminate these as well, and probably charge like $8 for them. Yeah. I don't expect I'll sell very many of them, but these on the other hand, this is art that I made for a body pillow. So it's a Navia body pillow, and I made like a full body of her and decided to make a sticker of her also. And so I feel like she will probably sell at least a little bit, because dang, I did a good job with this drawing. I don't know, I feel like I did a really good job with it. Look at her hair. Like, what the hell? I did that? It's crazy, right? Anyway, yeah, the body pillows are actually what I ordered from Vogue Grace, so I am looking forward to seeing those. The shipping cost almost as much as the pillows did, which shouldn't have surprised me considering they're coming from China, but like, damn, dude, it's kind of, ugh, it hurt. It hurt. But yeah, I have these stickers, and then I also made one of Scaramucci, and did that. And he's got this little cat too, the Scarammeow or whatever. This guy is a space filler. This is like a dumb little doodle I did on Twitter one day, and I thought it was cute. I have also decided to get a charm made of him when I was testing out Blue Acre, just because like it costs like $10 for 6 of them, so why not, I guess. Yeah, so there's him. I'm also going to be selling these stickers for about the same price. Yeah. So those are the gazillion stickers that I have to take care of. Yay, and there it goes. Look at it like shaking around. Oh. So it's like 6 a.m. I just spent all night working on these. I'm gonna print them and go the hell to sleep. So I'm so tired. Oh my god. This is a very sturdy box. Alright. Oh, this is like a lot bigger than I expected it to be. I ordered the 45 centimeter by 150 centimeter, I think. So it's like the second smallest. They're not gonna be huge because of that. I'm gonna unwrap this and see what it looks like all laid out. Oh my gosh, they turned out so good. I'm gonna use these as the display pieces, so I don't really mind that they're on the ground. And I think I'm gonna sell these for about $60. I thought that might be too much, but seeing how huge these are now, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. Like, this is how big my hand is on it, I guess. Yeah, so. I was worried they would look like way out of proportion because Navi is so much like taller. But yeah, these will look fine. Anyway, these turned out so good. Like, even better than I expected, honestly. The print quality is like really good. But I do wish that it didn't cost me $45 to have these shipped. Because you can't tell when it's just these laid out. But that whole package only weighed like 1 pound, and most of it was the cardboard box. Why was it $45? Like, well, whatever. They're here now. I have these guys. So I finished these designs last night, basically. Like, I got these out really quickly, and I'm testing it out right now. I was a little worried because I thought that the color quality wouldn't be good if I used my printer, and that I would need to send these off to Staples or something. But it actually turned out pretty good. I just needed to use better quality paper. So yeah, I've got some of these. I was most worried about like the purple and dark colored ones, but these turned out pretty good, I think. Yeah. So I kind of simplified the designs a little bit, so that it's mostly just like the person's face, and then there's like a little back design of the flavor that each macaron is supposed to be. So Chill Chuck, I have pistachio. Thistle, I have blackcurrant. I think Marcille, I made lemon. Linus is vanilla. It's, you know, fun stuff like that. And I think it turned out pretty cute. So I just got my brand new table runner. I got this from Amazon actually, and I expected it to be kind of shitty and have to replace it. Like, it was cheap, so I was just going to use it as like a temporary table runner until I could save up for a higher quality one. But this actually turned out like really good. The print quality is like really nice and clear, and like it's very sturdy. I didn't really expect that because it was only like $25. And it's a lot bigger than I expected too. Like, it'll show up really nicely. Yeah, I've been meaning to replace my vinyl banner with like a cloth table runner for a while, and now I have this, and I'm pretty happy about that. So I got these earlier today, and I'm like so hype about it. These are the last acrylic merchy type things that I got in before Bold Matsuri in a couple of weeks. So I tried out this new company called Woo Acri. I saw on the Artist Alley International Discord, they were getting some pretty good reviews, so I decided to try them out. And man, it turned out really good. I really like them, so I'm definitely going to be getting more stuff from them. The first thing that I got here is this little shaking bouncy standee of Miku from the rabbit hole video. So yeah, and she turned out so cute. The print turned out really, really good on this, and they have this thing built in where you can add like a stained glass color gradient, and I'm really glad that I did that because I think it looks really good. I love the combination of colors. I think it really makes it pop. So I'm excited about this one. I really like her. She's cute. Yeah. And it has a little sticky thing on the bottom. I haven't peeled that off yet because I don't really have a permanent place to stick it. Ah. And then we have this little guy. Of this silly little doodle I made of a Scaramouche in a cute little patooey coat. And I actually got it as a glitter charm, but unfortunately, because the design is so dark, he kind of gets lost on the glitter side, which I'm really upset about, but that's my fault for using such a dark design. This would probably look a lot better if it was like brighter. Yeah, it still looks pretty okay in video form and when it's moving around and stuff. Yeah, and he's still very clear on the other side. I love this little clasp, this little cat ear clasp. It's so hard to do this with one hand, but you know, it opens like a charm clasp. Yeah. I keep knocking her over, I'm sorry. I finished laminating all of my stickers. There's this ginormous pile now, and now I have to go and manually cut all of these out. Oh, I've made some good decisions in my life, haven't I? So I think I'm gonna try to do at least 2 of each of these, one that I can use as a display and one that I can have for sale. Most of these pages turned out okay. I cut out one of the Zhaos because I messed it up. Like sometimes you get like bubbles that are too big to get rid of and stuff like that. So here is my pile of stickers. It's late right now and I'm planning on going to bed because I'm going to a local zine fest tomorrow. I don't want to be tired. But yeah, I've been working on slowly working my way through the stickers. We have these ones here which are completely done. all the separate designs. All of these are cut out. These ones I've done like some of them and then some not, so I have them in like little sectioned off piles. And here we have some of the defective ones. So these I'm just gonna throw in my discount bin. I mean, they were like only a little bit messed up, not messed up enough to justify throwing them away. So you can see on this one, there's like a little fold in the laminate. So, but the design itself is fine, and some people don't really mind something that minor. So I'm just going to put that in a bin for like $1. And then there's, this one is kind of silly. This one is just me being anal, but there's like a spot, like right, yeah, you can see it there, right where my finger is. I don't know what it is. It's like an imperfection in the laminate. And I don't know, I feel like it's noticeable enough that I wouldn't feel comfortable selling this for full price. But I also don't want to throw it away because it's mostly fine. It's mostly just the same as all the other ones. So, yeah, I'll probably sell this for like a discount. Maybe $1? No, probably not $1. Probably like $2, because these really big stickers I'm planning on selling for $8 because they're so huge. This is my trash can right now, just so you know what's going on. So I ordered 10 each of every print. And, oh, it looks like they separated all of them by the cardboard. So all of the tubies are here. A little bit of leftover paper. Paper itself is good, it's what I expected. Yeah, they're borderless the way that I wanted. That's good. Sometimes Staple screws these up, so it's good to check and see. Oh, this turned out so good. It's kind of hard to tell. But, like, it's really vibrant. I'm glad. Nobody is going to buy this. Nobody cares about this pairing, but I'm glad. I've got my Talk Shit Get Hit prints. These are always very popular. The stickers are done. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. So I finally finished all these. You can see a little better just how many fucking stickers I made. Oh my god. I'm like disappointed in myself. I'm buying a silhouette, like a sticker cutter. I can't do this anymore. You can see my trash can just full of detritus, sticker detritus. So out of all those stickers, I only had about like 5-6 defects. Yeah, so I just kind of picked defects based on like I decide something is a defect based on if it mostly looks okay, but it's got like one flaw that is noticeable. So this one, yeah, there's like an error in there's like a fold in the film. This one, it's usually folds in the film. Yeah, fold in the film. This one I'm pretty sure the fold in the film, but it's like less. Yeah, there it is. Fold in the film. Look at all these buttons. I'm using this button maker that I got recently. Or, well, actually I got it back in December, but I haven't really had a chance to use it for any like show merch. So here I have these. It's fucking windy. All those dungeon meshy buttons that I made. Yeah, they're turning out pretty good. I'm probably gonna try to make like 6 of each of these so that I have 1 to display and then 5 to sell. And yeah, I think I should have enough like backings and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna try making one right now and film it for y'all. Just, you know, just in case you're curious. So I've got my art here, and then all of these little pieces that are part of it. And what you do is this backing plate goes here, and you put that right there, and this protective cover on the top. Not one little click is enough. And then you put this down, and I've set it up so that it should be like oriented correctly. It's not going to be like weirdly off. But yeah, and then you just turn this around and you can feel it come together. And then yeah, we got ourselves a nice little button here. Yay. Last minute stuff. I got the leeway stickers printed and holographized, laminated and all that. So last minute I'm getting just at least a couple of these done. And I got all my stuff. I'm gonna have to load it all up pretty soon. So yep, the con is this weekend. Con is this weekend, and tomorrow is setup. So I'm gonna be doing that tomorrow. Okay, I am here setting up at Bold Matsuri now. I've got the basic framework up. I tested this out in my kitchen the other day. And yeah, so I'm gonna start putting out the stuff that I'm selling. Hi guys. So Bold Matsuri has already passed, and boy, that was a whole fucking story. It was bad. But anyway, it happened last weekend. So for the past couple of days, I have been just completely busting my ass trying to get stuff done for Supercon. So bit by bit, I have been getting new things done. And let me show you the big thing. I've got this this huge Dungeon Messy image. So it's basically a parody of Lunch Atop a Skyscraper, which is that old photo of the dudes building a New York skyscraper, and they're all eating their lunch on like an I-beam sort of thing. So I did something like that. I put way too much detail into it. I did this over 3 days, so I just killed myself trying to get this thing done in time so that I could order it and get it before I have to leave, which is the 11th. So right now it is the 28th of June, and I did manage to get this ordered in time for it to arrive on the 11th. So I'm hoping it'll come like a day before or very early in the morning on the 11th, so that I'll be able to just pack it up and bring it with me. If not, well, I guess I'm shit out of luck, but I guess I'll just bring it to my next convention. Anyway, that's the big one, and I just spent like the past 3 days busting my ass on that. Hello, hello, hello. Hey everybody. I've been planning to make a vlog sort of style video for a while now. After my con prep video, I said that I was going to do like a little just a little vlog about the shows that I went to recently and how they turned out and stuff that happened. Especially because I went to Supercon, and that was a very interesting experience for me. It was a lot more than I expected it to be. It was a lot of work, and I was all alone, so it was certainly something. It was something, all right. But before I get to Supercon, in June, I had a much smaller local show that I went to. And there wasn't really much going on at this show. So I've been doing this convention thing for like a year, and I would consider this show, this small local show, to be the first one that I did starting out. When that came around, it was basically like my first anniversary. I did have a small show, a much, much smaller show before then, but I don't really want to get into that because it was awful. It was just so bad. There was nobody there. It was so poorly organized. It was actually, yeah, let's get into it. It was this local show that was held in like this warehouse. It's a weird like warehouse where they have it's like cartoon themed or something, and they have like hangout spots basically with video games, and I think I'm actually not even sure what else there is to do there. But it's just a warehouse, and it's painted with a lot of like cartoon characters and cool graffiti. It is a cool venue, but I am in fucking Florida, and this happened last June, and it was bad. It was so bad. They had to bring in these huge industrial fans to keep it cool enough, and it was like a lot, and there were like no people coming. It was horribly advertised. I don't think anybody made any money. I know I certainly didn't. I made probably about like $70, and it was $100. It was very bad. And it was also my very first show. My display was bad. I basically just had like a black tablecloth, a couple of those cubes, like display cube thingies, and that was about it. I didn't have a lot of other stuff that is now standard as part of my display. It was very bad. Anyway, apparently they eventually moved that to December. I have no idea how their December show went because I did not apply to it. They moved it to December because it was way too hot when they did it in June. Yeah, no shit. So I have no idea if that went well. I didn't go to it. I didn't apply for it. I will never apply for it. It was very bad. I'm talking about the show I did right after that, last June. And then that is basically what I'm counting as my first actual trying to do this thing. I think I was like a little short of breaking even, which is kind of a miracle because I still didn't have a very good display back then. But yeah, it went fairly well that year. So this year, I was like, okay, this will be even better because I have an amazing display now. I have a lot more inventory. I can totally make a lot more money this year. No, I made $10 less than last year. It was so bad. It was, I think last year it's because it was partially because I was on a corner. I think I lucked out a lot with that. I know that corner booths and booths at the very end of the row usually do well now in my experience. Which still isn't a lot. Like, I've still only done about like, maybe like 7 or 8 shows, which is more than like your average person, I'm sure, but I like 2 or 3 of those shows I ended up being like on a corner, which was good for me, I'm pretty sure. Not that not being on a corner has been terrible for me, but in this particular case, I think that being on a corner very much helped. Yeah, because I wasn't in a corner this past one. I was like smack in the middle, and yeah, I was basically like smack in the middle, maybe like one row back from the middle. So it wasn't like the most amazing spot in the world, but it wasn't like a horrible spot either. So, but yeah, it was bad. This convention has a sister convention, which is in Ocala, Florida, which is the rich people city. It's Ocala is known for its horses and horseback riding, so there's some rich motherfuckers who live there. And it took place this sister show. I'm just gonna say what it's called. It's called the one that's local to me in Jacksonville is called Bold Matsuri. And the one that is the sister show in Ocala is called Brick City Anime Festival. So I'm just going to call them Bold Matsuri and Brick City. So Brick City was really good for me. Even though it takes place in Ocala, which is like 2 hours away, and I had to drive that 2 hours every, like all 2 of those days, I had to drive those 2 hours. It was pretty chill. It was like not a hard drive because it was all back roads. It was very nice. All of the people at these shows that are run by this particular guy are always so nice. Like, I always have such a great time at these shows because the vibes are just immaculate. All of the cosplayers are working super hard on their cosplays, and they're like super friendly and super cute, and it's so nice to just hang out with people. There's always like this element of celebration, and they're just fun. They're very fun and laid back. So I like this guy's shows for that reason. And Brick City was a very good show. I liked the times I attended Bold Matsuri as an attendee, and I liked last year when I was at Bold Matsuri. This year was different. This year was weird. The vibes were about the same. I think everybody was still, but you know, the economy is really bad. So I think a lot of people were being a lot more conservative in their spending. Anyway, when I was doing Brick City was in February, so I think a lot of people weren't really like trying to save super hard. And there are also a lot more rich people, rich horse people there. I sold like a ton of stickers at Brick City. I sold so many stickers. Because there were a lot of like teenagers who really liked my stickers, and those were so popular at Brick City. I nearly sold out of them. I had like multiple people like there were multiple times when there were people coming up being like, "Oh, I want to buy that," and they'd buy that, and then another person would immediately come up and be like, "Oh, I want to buy that," and that's the first time that's happened to me. It was very cool. So I figured for Bold Matsuri, hey, this guy also runs this show. It seems like it's about the same demographic of people. It's a lot of like teenagers who buy like small things like stickers and stuff. I should go all in on the stickers. And that was a mistake, because nobody bought any fucking stickers. Like even my Pride stickers, which always sell well. I always sell like at least 10 or sometimes even like 20 of the Pride stickers every show. Nope. I probably sold like 5 of them maybe at most. It was pretty bad. And my stickers are like good too. Like they all have like holographic film. They're fun stickers. People love them. Like I think they're pretty funny. Like, and I also like hand print, laminate, and cut them myself, which I shouldn't be doing. I really need to buy a sticker cutter, but I just don't have the budget for it right now. Anyway, people were not really buying stickers, and I think it's because the economy is so bad. They wanted more permanent things for about the same price. So apparently small prints were doing really well. And I have small prints, but I didn't really like go out of my way to display a bunch of them. So I think that was my problem. So I don't know if I'm going to do Bold Matsuri again. I really think that this was kind of a fluke because it's an election year. The economy is bad. I feel like I feel like if I do it next year and the economy picks up a little bit, I think I will do a lot better. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be willing to take that risk, especially because table prices for cons have gone up like so much, and they shouldn't be going up. Like, I don't think organizers get this, but we know that you're overcharging us. Like, you know that we know, right? we just haven't figured out what to do about it yet. But we know that you're basically using us to pay for the venue and not really bothering to promote as much as you should be. So, yeah. Just so you know, we're aware of that. We know that. And it's not gonna keep going on forever. We're gonna do something about it eventually. We're gonna get tired of it. But anyway, the real drama with Bold Matsuri was the guy who organizes Bold Matsuri. And I'm not going to say what his name is. I'm going to call him Bob. So Bob was like... Bob has had some... I've only dealt with Bob like a couple of times. Usually when coming in to set up, like, I've gotten my badge from him, and he's been very nice. And I've heard from other people that he's very nice in person. But his emails are like the most abrasive shit in the world, and they'd never answer anything. And it's like, oh my god. And apparently there was some controversy. I wouldn't call it controversy, but like rightful indignation is what I would call it, in how he was handling handing out table assignments. Like, apparently he was using people's like full legal names. And, you know, anime conventions, there's gonna be like trans people who don't really use their legal names anymore. And there's people who they would be in like active danger if their legal names got out. And usually they go by like business name, the business name that is provided to the convention, that in the like lists of assignments that we get in our emails. Anyway, so people were like, hey, could you maybe not do that for this reason? And he was like weird about it, apparently. I don't think that the guy is transphobic or anything, because apparently, I mean, I've heard people say that he's very respectful and stuff. So I think that he just doesn't really realize how dangerous that can be. But, oh man, I hope that talking about this isn't like some sort of confidentiality break or something. This is just things that I have heard on the grapevine. Just to be like clear about that. I don't think that there's anything like malicious going on here. I think that this is like a lot of bad miscommunication between a bunch of people. Anyway, so Bold Matsuri, people were of course bringing this up because they always bring this up every time a Bob convention comes around. And so we get this email. I'm reading directly from the email. It's basically the email where he compiled everything that we have, like, oh, here's when loaded, here's when you want to be here, here's the table information, here's utilities and stuff. And then at the very end of the email, he has a PS, and I'm reading this verbatim. It has been brought to my attention by multiple individuals in your community of vendors is spelled wrong, /artist, that a few people have been complaining about my approach to the shows, my personality, and my emails. Please understand, I email thousands of people a year, and I do so to get the point. I think he meant to get to the point. Often spending my time addressing things that shouldn't need addressed because people aren't reading my emails or the terms of purchase when signing up for our show. I honestly do my best to serve all of you. I have helped many of you, whether outside the show, on the floor, and even helping load/unload when it was needed. Calling me a sexiest, he spelled sexist as sexiest. Telling others I yell and curse at vendors, saying I'm quote-unquote awful and quote-unquote insanely aggressive is enough. If you don't like me, I don't care. I care that one would lie or slander my name to a community of people I do my best to support. Bottom line, don't participate in the shows I run if you have a problem with me. End of story. And the fact that he wrote that paragraph and nobody in his life, even once, thought, hey, maybe it would be a bad idea to send this. The fact that he did that is insane. That's so fucking bonkers, dude. Like, why would you ever think that that would go over well? And it didn't go over well because some people that I even like know a little bit, like I've done a couple of shows with them and they were very nice and sweet people. Well, they put him on blast publicly. They posted him on Twitter, they posted him on Instagram, they posted this email. It was wild. People did not like this for obvious reasons. So a lot of us, we can't refund our tables, so we were like, yeah, we still have to do this, and we kind of have to get our money and like do our work. But there were people who straight up just pulled out. Like they just left and probably did like a chargeback on their credit cards or something, which I don't blame them. So yeah, that was the drama with both Matsuri. I am already signed up to do Brick City next year. I don't know if I'll be doing any more of his conventions because he also does another one called Collective Con, which I also did. It was in like March. It was also bad. I think it was because Collective Con is more of a like general nerd con, I think. So it was like a lot more like comic people and a lot more people who like collect Funko Pops and get them signed. So it was less like anime fans. And they weren't really buying stuff from the artist alley. So I mean, I broke even still, but breaking even isn't really something I worry about like ever anymore. I usually at least get close to breaking even, close enough that I'm like, well, it was an interesting weekend. Because for me, this is fun. This work is fun. I like going to a convention and sitting behind a table for a weekend and talking to people and selling my wares, my silly little baubles. I like doing that. Like, even if I'm like $20 short, I'm like, well, that was $20 that went towards me spending a weekend out with some cool people. I don't know. I'm kind of talking myself into trying to do Bold Matsuri again. Not if the price goes up, because it's way too expensive for what it is. It's not a big enough con to justify the price. I think it was something like $240, which is just nonsense. Like, this is not a big con. This isn't really like even a mid-size con. It's like lower mid-size. There's probably maybe like 2,000 people who go to it. It's not worth it. Yeah, with the economy the way that it is, I think it was doomed to always turn out that way. But anyway, now that I'm done explaining all of that drama and how that went down, it's time to talk about Supercon. Yeah! So Supercon is in Miami Beach. I have never been to Miami Beach. I have never been to Miami in general in my entire life, and this is because my dad is usually the one who always drove us around when we were going on vacations and stuff. So we would always go on vacations to places like Orlando, the Gulf of Mexico in general, Tampa maybe sometimes, St. Augustine. We would not go down to Miami because Miami was always very, very far away, and he hates it there. He hates driving in Miami, and so he would refuse. Well, I don't think I ever asked him to bring me to Miami. I don't think I ever really wanted to go to Miami, but I think if I had, he would have refused. And he told me, you know, it's kind of, you shouldn't really be bringing your car there. You shouldn't be expecting to drive there. And I was like, oh, come on. I've driven in cities before. It's fine. It can't possibly be that bad. I've driven in Austin traffic. I've driven in, like, terrible, terrible traffic. I've driven in Jacksonville traffic, which is also very terrible. And he was like, no, you don't understand. And then I get to Miami Beach, and now I do understand. I understand much too well what he meant. It was storming when I got there, and the streets in Miami flood. Did you know that? Did you know that the streets in Miami flood and people just keep driving through it? They just keep driving through it. They just expect you to drive through it. And I had to drive through this insanity. It was the most stressful hour of my life. And I didn't even go that far. I was kind of stuck in a small general area around the convention center, and it took me an hour to get to where my where I had reserved overnight parking for my car. And I was like, oh, so if I ever want to do anything in this city, I cannot remove this car from this overnight parking. I have to keep it here for the entire weekend, which sucks. I was gonna be because I stayed with some roommates at a hotel in Miami Beach. We all pulled our money together and got this honestly pretty decent hotel that was literally right down the street from the convention center, which was very nice. It was nice to be able to just get up 30 minutes before the convention starts and just walk there. It was pretty nice. I had this hotel room, and I was gonna offer as thanks for my roommates for letting me stay in their hotel room. I was also paying for part of it, and I was also planning on offering them that if they needed to go anywhere, I would be happy to drive them, because they didn't drive. They took they flew here. Not here, but they flew to Miami, so they didn't drive. They didn't have a car or anything. And I was planning on being oh, if any of you guys ever need anything or need to go somewhere, I have my car so we can go anywhere. And I was no, I'm never removing that car from that parking garage until the day I leave. So I just didn't drive for the rest of that weekend. But it didn't really matter because I was close to everything that I needed to get to. There were a couple of times I had to take Ubers, but yeah. There was some fun stuff. You might have noticed this picture that I am drawing in the background, that as fun visual things to look at as I am talking. This is a print that I made in a hurry for Supercon, and it's a Dungeon Meshi print. It's because I wanted to have some Dungeon Meshi stuff before I got there, and I wanted something big to be hey, I have Dungeon Meshi stuff, because I've noticed that works pretty well, having a big piece from a certain fandom, and it attracts fans of that fandom over to your table, and then they see the smaller stuff that you have for that fandom. So that was my goal, basically. And I had that, and I had some small prints, and I had some buttons. So I ordered these big prints from Staples, which is where I always order my prints from, because they're usually pretty decent and they're cheap and they get to me quickly. This time they did not, and the reason for that is that this time, usually they send my prints by UPS. This time they sent them by FedEx, and FedEx is fucking terrible. Holy shit. There's no reason why it took them a week past the date that my prints were promised to me to get the prints to me. They didn't get the day that they were promised, and then they took another week to get to me. So I didn't have my big Dungeon Meshi prints. So the morning of the first day of the convention, I had to run to FedEx, not FedEx, Office Max, to get some last minute prints made. And I had already anticipated this, so I had brought my hard drive with all of my stuff on it. So I get these 11 by 17 prints made, and I can't get them borderless because, it's just a random Office Max in Miami, and they don't do borderless there. I had to order them as being borderless from Staples. So now I just have these prints that have a border, which I don't I don't think people really mind all that much, especially if they're planning on like framing the prints. But yeah, it didn't really matter much in the long run, but it still disappointed me because I prefer my prints without borders. I did manage to get like 10 of those made, and I'm glad I did in the end because I ended up selling like 5 of them, which is good because they cost like $20 each, so that's a pretty good, decent like chunk of change there. And I used Uber for the first time to get to the Office Max and then get to the convention center. And it was very, very easy, and now I understand why people like Uber, because I've just never really used it because I always thought, there's no way it's as easy as people say it is. It's probably a pain in the ass. And no, it was easy. Like, all I had to do was sign up, hook up my credit card to it, and just call an Uber. And it was good. I gave them a good tip, and it worked out pretty well. I actually got to the Office Max 30 minutes before they were open, so I was like awkwardly standing in the parking lot, which did kind of suck. But eventually they opened, and I was one of the first people in. There were other people who were also there first thing in the morning, and I felt so bad for the print kid, the guy who was doing the print center, because he had to deal with like all 3 of us at once. And I was like, okay, I know what I want. I'm gonna get out of your hair as soon as possible. I'm so sorry. But he was very gracious about it, and he got all this stuff done for me very quickly, and it was great. I actually used to work in a print center. I know what it's like. I know how hellish it is. So thanks, random guy from Office Max in Miami. And after I had gotten through the Great Print Saga, I ran back to the convention center, and I still ended up being early by like an hour. I was just finishing up my setup and everything. And then the doors opened. It started out pretty slow because Supercon starts on a Friday. There really wasn't much interesting stuff that happened on Friday. It was an okay day. I made enough to pay for my hotel, basically, which was about $170. So yeah, it was enough to pay for my hotel. What can I say? It was a Friday. I read a lot of fan fiction on my phone. It was Dungeon Meshi fanfiction, and it was Kabru and Mithrun, because I have immaculate taste. I have immaculate taste in gay fanfiction. On the way back to the hotel, we stopped by to get some food from this one restaurant that my hotel mate decided on. I think like she must have seen like good reviews or something, and it was like this. It was this very interesting like Art Deco gastropub sort of thing. There's a lot of like Art Deco architecture and stuff in Miami Beach. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. I never want to drive there. I would like to live there. If I was rich and could hire a chauffeur, maybe. I would love to live there if the driving was not a problem. Yeah, it was Art Deco. It had all of this like extremely Florida-ass, Miami-ass wallpaper with like flowers and flamingos and tropical things. It was like industrial inside. It was a very cool place. And it was also very expensive, obviously, because it was a gastropub in Miami. But when I got there, I saw this burger that sounded really, really good. Oh, let me pull it up. Okay, here it is. It's called the Sweet Liberty Drinks and Supply Company. So it was, they had like a bunch of really interesting, like, sort of interesting plays on pub food. And I got the Buns of Liberty Burger, which is a funny name for it. 2 ground brisket and sirloin patties, American cheese, house pickles, lettuce, tomato, and onion, special sauce, and fries. You could also make an Impossible Burger in case you're a vegetarian, I guess. But I did not, because I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what about that like called to me. I was like, special sauce. So I got that. I got it without the tomato because I don't like tomatoes. It was the best burger I have ever had in my entire fucking life. It was so good. It was amazing. And when I say house pickles, I mean that these pickles were probably like made actually in this pub and like actually sliced there, because they were insane. It was insane how good these pickles were. It was such a good burger. And I'm very glad, because it was $21. It was a $21 burger, and it was worth all 21 of those dollars. It was so good. It was very good. It was the best burger. I will dream about that burger. Oh my god. I do kind of hope I get to go to Miami Beach again someday so that I can have another one of those burgers. Yeah, but it was a very, very expensive place. They charged me $4 for a miniature can of Coke and a glass to pour it into. $4. $4 when there was a CVS down the street where I could have bought a 20 ounce for like $1 less than that. What? My housemates got these nachos. These nachos that were I'm looking at their menu right now and trying to remember what the nachos they got. Cauliflower nachos. And this is like an example of the weird stuff that they had on their menu. Cauliflower nachos, blended cheese, sauteed cauliflower, avocado crema, radishes, pickled jalapeno, pomegranate seeds, still warm tortilla chips, serves 2. And then you could add chicken or steak to it, and they added steak. Yeah, with all of that stuff, it ended up being like $30, and they split it. My 2 roommates decided to split it, and they were like, oh my god, these are the best nachos we've ever had. And I was like, whoa. And they told me to try some, and I did. I tried some. They were talking about how the pomegranate seeds are like surprisingly really, really good in the nachos. So I tried some with some of the pomegranate seeds, and it was really good. I don't think that I would eat that on my own, but I mean, it was very interesting. And apparently the cocktails were very good. I didn't buy any because I'm not paying $20 for a cocktail. No thank you. I'm sure that they were good. My roommates were like raving about them. They each got like 1 or 2, I think, different ones, and they enjoyed them. And but you know, I didn't want to pay that much for alcohol. I'm sorry. And they looked good. I'm sure that they were good. I am very content with my burger. Yeah, they went again the next day and invited me along, but I could not justify spending another $20 on another burger, because it was an amazing burger, and I do want to have it again someday, but not that particular weekend. I brought like ramen and stuff to save money, so I was like, yeah, you guys have fun with that. I'm not gonna spend another $20 there. No, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm good. Saturday is always the busiest day at a convention. It started out pretty slow. Like, I mean, you know, it started at like 10, but yeah, it was fine at the beginning. And it was just kind of steady throughout the day. There was never like a huge rush or anything like that. But I had some very interesting encounters with customers. For starters, I have this Navia body pillow now, and I have a Navia body pillow and a Wanderer body pillow. And I got them because I thought that they would be good display pieces to have on my my photo stand, the backdrop behind me. And so I had them up there. I didn't really expect either of them to sell, but as I was like sitting behind my table, every once in a while I'd get people like pointing and laughing at the body pillows, because, you know, when you see a body pillow, you point and laugh at it. Duh, of course. And people were like, but then these like teenagers, these kids who were probably like 14, these like, I don't know if they were girls, but they were dressed up as female characters. And there was this one, like, they were clearly children, and they were like, this one girl was like pointing at it and going, poor Navia. Like the fictional character Navia is so terribly being taken advantage of by having her visage on a body pillow or something. Like she's like, you need to feel sorry for her. like and I was like, kid, really? We're at an anime convention. She's not even like a kid. She's like clearly in her 20s or something. She's an adult ass woman. And why do you have a problem with the Navia body pillow but not the Wanderer body pillow? Like, if anything, Wanderer looks younger than Navia. I don't know if her problem was them looking too young or whatever, or if it's just like another one of those where kids are like, ew, being interested in things sexually is bad. But I don't know. It's none of my business, but I was like, man, you really just said that with your full chest right where I could hear you, huh? Really? You're gonna be so embarrassed when you remember this like 5 years later. Holy shit. Anyway, that kid did not buy anything from me. She didn't even come up to my table or anything. Her and her friend just left after that. So in addition to all of the charms and stickers and prints and stuff that I sell, I also have some like mini comics and regular comics that I sell. They don't sell super well in most cases. People aren't really interested in like original comics at anime conventions and stuff. They're usually more interested in fan art and stuff. But every once in a while I get people really like interested in my original comic work or zines or stuff like that. So I always bring them, and like, I mean, I have them. And sometimes people pick them up and look through them. So a lot of these comics are fairly old and not really that interesting, actually. I need to make some more comics because it's been a while since I've dabbled in comics. I need to come up with some good stories. I just haven't really had any good stories to turn into comics lately. But anyway, I have this one mini comic that I made like 5 years ago. It's old. It's an old ass comic. It's called Pigeon Comics, and it is it's more like a zine collection of small shitty illustrations of pigeons. And people love it because it's very silly, and it's like a cheap, fun little like ash can zine thing that you can like keep in your house and look at sometimes when you want a little laugh. So I sell these for money. I sell them for $5. So I have business cards in like a little bowl on one end of my table, and then I have all of my comics on the other end of my table. And so this kid walks up to my table, and they're like, oh, is this your business card? And they grab one of my pigeon comics, and they start to walk off with it. And I'm like, no, that's not my business card. I'm selling that. That's money. Excuse me. I had to yell after them to get them to come back. And I was like, no, that's for sale. That's not something I'm giving away for free. And they were like, it is. And they were acting like I was the bad guy for like yelling at them. And I know it's like a small thing, but it's like so shitty. It's like you couldn't ask, is this your business card? Because people have asked me that before, even though it's clearly not where I keep my business cards. And it's clearly by all of these other mini comics that are clearly marked as being for sale. And people ask me that, and I'm always like, oh no, they're not. My business cards are over here. You know, like a normal conversation, like normal people. But then I get people every once in a while who just assume that the little mini comics are my business card. They're not. They're not my business card. Like, maybe I should make a business card that's like a little mini comic. Like, if people apparently like them so much. But I don't know. They're not hard to make. That actually does seem like kind of a good idea. But anyway, that was very annoying. A lot of people have like pet peeves about things that people do at their tables. Like, I know there's one rude thing that has never happened to me, thankfully, but I've seen it happen before, where people just like put all their shit on an artist table, like on top of all their stuff, to like readjust their stuff. And it's like, wow, are you serious? Are you serious, dude? And sometimes they use that as cover to like steal stuff off of the top of people's table, which is so shitty. The way people treat artists in artist alleys is like so unreal. And then there's this is also fucking annoying, but the little kids, every once in a while there will be like kids who will be like, can I trade this for one of your stickers? Or can I trade this for one of your buttons? And it's clearly something that they already bought from another artist. And I'm like, no, 12-year-old. I know you didn't make that charm or whatever. I know you didn't make that sticker. Like they're trying to trade up. And apparently this is because a bunch of like parents like to encourage this with their kids. Unreal. Like I can't believe how entitled you would have to be to think that that is an okay thing to tell your child to do. And this has only happened to me a couple of times where kids have been like this, and I've been like, no, I'm always happy to trade with other artists in the artist alley. I don't think there will ever be a time when I'm not happy to trade with somebody. It's fun to like just exchange things with other artists, because we're all kind of in this together. I do like that about the whole artist alley scene. But those are other artists. They're not like rando kids who are like 12 years old and clearly haven't made any of these things and are clearly just trying to get like a better... They're trying to like work their way up to an acrylic charm or some shit. I don't know what's up with these kids, but it's like, yeah. Oh, I just checked my notes. I completely forgot about this. I'm so glad I wrote it down. There was a guy in Jujutsu Kaisen cosplay vaping inside of the warehouse. Like, why would you do that? Like, I could clearly see his vape in his hand, and I could see the smoke coming out of his mouth. He was vaping in the warehouse. Why? Why would you do that? So yeah, those were like the only incidents or anything. For the most part, people were very friendly. My Dungeon Meshi prints, the ones that I had to rush to get from Office Depot, actually did really well. Like, they caught a lot of the people's attention. They were like, oh my goodness, it's Dungeon Meshi. And then they came over, and they might not buy the Dungeon Meshi print, but they would see like the stickers, or they would see like a print or something that they like, and they would buy that. And it was very cool. It was, so that, it served the function that I made it for, which was to attract attention from people. And at the end of the day, I had enough money to break even on my my table and my hotel. So all I really needed to worry about at that point was my parking, which was way more expensive than it should have been. If I ever do Supercon again, one, I will have an assistant. I don't care what it'll take. I don't know where I'll find one. Maybe one of my parents will be willing to do it. I don't know. I will have an assistant, and I will also not drive there. If I ever come back to Supercon, I will not be driving. Absolutely not. I'll take like a megabus or something, I don't know, or I'll go to Orlando and take the Bright Line. I've heard the Bright Line is pretty good. I hope that it expands to Jacksonville someday. It probably won't, because nobody comes to Jacksonville. Why would they? Anyway, Sunday was a much slower day. I left the hotel in the morning. Like, I got up early to get my parking, I got up early to get my car from the garage where I had it parked, which I think it was like a valet parking sort of thing, and I think that I fucked up because I didn't like tell them that I was climbing up the stairs to get my car. Oh yeah, this parking garage didn't have an elevator. You had to climb up the stairs. And it was like so tiny, and you had to go around in like this really tight little circle. It was like so crowded and terrible. And it was disgusting inside also. Once I got all that sorted, I parked, like I said, at the parking garage at the convention center, which was much closer and much nicer, and they had an elevator. Holy shit. And then I could just like take my stuff up that elevator. and just drive away after that. It was pretty slow like the whole time, I think. I made less than I did on Friday, but I still made enough to basically break even on my hotel, my table, and my parking. And so it was, I don't know, I was hoping that this would be like a really big, huge thing for me, but I don't think that was ever going to happen, because the economy is just that bad, and the Supercon is set up in like a really weird way where it's like all of the dealers, and then there's like the artist alley shoved kind of off into a corner, and then the wall that's near us is like all of the guests. So I think they're kind of hoping that the guests, that people will like move through the artist alley to go to the guests. But I think, controversial fucking take here apparently, I think that all conventions should be set up so that all of the guests go through the artist alley first and then go to the vendors. Because they're going to go to the vendors no matter what. The vendors are going to have all of the bootleg figurines they want to buy. Of course they're going to go to the vendors. But if you don't put the artist alley in an obvious place, nobody goes to the fucking artist alley. They just don't. Not very many people go out of their way to go to the artist alley. Except for like people like me. I love the artist alley. The artist alley is like the only reason I ever go to conventions, and like just the vibes also. Sometimes there's like one or two panels. I don't cosplay, so I don't go for cosplay. I go because I want to buy art from the artist alley. I think that all conventions should be set up so that you have to go through the artist alley to get to the vendors. Fight me in real life. Fight me at the horrible parking garage where I had to park all weekend. I will fuck you up. I will bang your face against those disgusting stairs. I will do it. Anyway, it was pretty slow throughout the day, but I actually had someone, surprised me a little bit. I had somebody who showed up at my table because they were specifically looking for me, because apparently somebody wanted them to get something from me specifically. It was my Dungeon Meshi buttons. I have these Dungeon Meshi buttons that are on, they look like decorated macarons, is what they look like. And apparently, like the person who came up showed me like their phone where they were texting someone, and that person was asking, can I get this one and this one? And they had like had my images of these buttons. So they must have like seen that I posted them on Instagram or something and been like, I want to get those. Hey, friend who's going to Supercon, can you get these for me? Yeah, that person came and bought one of each of all of my Dungeon Meshi buttons. And that was so cool. It was very, very cool. Because it meant that people actually like look at my Instagram and stuff. And that people liked those buttons. I need to restock on those buttons because I only had like 4 of each anyway. And now I only have like 1 of each of them. They weren't like super duper popular, but they got pretty wiped out. Yeah, I think if it had been a little bit busier at Supercon and the economy a little bit better, I think that they would have sold a lot more. So I want to have plenty so that I'm prepared for next time. I finished up all of that. It was kind of sad. It's always a bummer when a convention ends and you have to like pack up. And part of it is also kind of a relief, but I had to pack up like pretty soon. Oh, I almost forgot to say that the whole weekend, I couldn't leave my booth unless someone watched it for me. I think like once I watched the person at the table. I asked the person at the table next to me if they would be cool watching while I went to the bathroom, and then And then like Saturday and Sunday, my roommates were super awesome because they were tabling together, and one of them came over to relieve me like during like around 2 o'clock so that I could like run to get lunch and eat and go to the bathroom. And so that was fun. That's also another reason why I'm going to have a helper next time. So they didn't have good food options at the Supercon. All of the Jacksonville conventions at the Prime Osborne they always have food trucks, and they are very good food trucks. One of the best burritos I've ever had is from this Mexican food truck that they always have at all of the events. There's a Japanese food truck that I really, really love that's always at these events. There's this food truck that does like chicken fingers and, well, not chicken fingers, but they're like boneless chicken bites or something, and they're amazing. And they also do like Korean corn dogs and stuff like that. I don't know what their theme is, but it's amazing food. It's really, really good. So at the Prime Osborne, they always have food trucks doing the food, and they also have like a concession stand, but it's just shitty concession food, and nobody gets it unless they really don't want anything from the food trucks. At Supercon, all I had access to was the concession food, and that was like, I got chicken fingers once, and I got $8 pretzels that were like stale and shitty. So all the food was bad. It sucked. It made me feel awful. But I had some like pretty good granola bars with me. I always bring snacks with me, especially if I'm tabling alone. So like granola bars, like those little boxes of cereal and stuff that people have. Yeah, I'm always like snacking on something, because if I don't, I will like fall asleep in the middle of the afternoon. It's pretty bad. Pretzels, things like that. Anyway, that was my food situation over the weekend. But so yeah, my roommates were very awesome. They were cool. And I'm glad that they did that for me. I hope if I'm ever in a position where I can do that for someone, I will definitely do that for them. Because I know the struggle these days. I know the struggle. I had all my stuff loaded up in my wagon. I got to the parking garage. I almost dropped a bunch of stuff, but I didn't. But then another girl who was also taking the same elevator as me and came out at the same floor as me, and she actually ended up being like right next to me. She like dropped a bunch of her stuff on the way to her car. So I helped her pick that up, and it was just kind of funny, because I was on the verge of dropping everything, but then she actually did drop everything, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, my bad luck transferred to you. And that was my last time at the con. I had to sit in my car for a little while because everybody was leaving all at once, and so the whole parking garage was backed up. So I waited for about like 20 minutes or something before it cleared out enough that I could back out as well. And I finally started my long ass drive home from Miami Beach. Oh, but you know what happened on the way home from Miami Beach? Well, for starters, I actually stopped and got a burrito from Chipotle. That was my dinner. That was the one stop that I did. Actually, one of two stops that I did, and it was the least eventful of the stops. Even though, as I was ordering my burrito from Chipotle, there was a dude in front of me in line who was also ordering some bowls for his family, and as the kid was finishing up his bowls and bringing them over to be rung up, the guy was like, nope, you need to remake those bowls. And I was like, oh my god, is this one of those things? Because people are doing that thing where they're like recording Chipotle workers or whatever, and like nitpicking them over the dumbest shit. And this kid was like probably in high school, right out of high school. It was like a kid. Like, this kid was not like an adult. And he was like, I'm sorry, sir. And the guy was like, there's rice leaking out all over out of the bowls. And he looks at the bowls, and the bowls are completely sealed. There is a little bit of rice stuck to the bottom because as they were preparing the bowls, there was some rice on the thing, which is a very reasonable thing to have happen. It happens all the time. So he was like, oh, no, they're not leaking, sir. Some rice stuck to the bottom of the bowl. It's not leaking. That's not from your bowl. It was just on the table. And the guy was like bitching at this kid. He was like, are you serious? Are you really gonna be like blah 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 blah? You better remake my stuff. And the kid was like, I could tell that the kid had like given up. He was like, you've already decided that you're gonna be mad about this. I'm not gonna argue. And I kind of I kind of like tuned it out because I was still trying to give my order to the other guy. And as I was coming up to pay for my burrito, the guy was like, "You're gonna be fired. I'm gonna make sure you're fired." And the kid was like, "Okay, sir." And the dude leaves. He did eventually pay for his bowls that were not leaking. They were completely fine. And so he leaves. And as he's walking out the door, I come up to this kid and I'm like, "That guy was a douchebag. I'm so sorry." And he was like, "Well, it is what it is." And I'm like, "Oh, you poor thing." So yeah, that was the least eventful of my 2 stops. I got my burrito. I ate my burrito in the car because the Chipotle was pretty close to closing up, and I didn't want to like leave them. I didn't want to like be that person. The guy who was mad, he and I guess his wife and his kids were in this minivan next to me the entire time I was eating my burrito, and they were like sorting through their bowls and like looking into them. They were there the whole time, like bitching to each other about this bowl situation. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like they didn't leave until like 2 minutes before I left. It was weird. I was a little worried the guy was gonna like get a gun and shoot up the place or something. I don't know. Yeah, that was my Chipotle adventure. my burrito adventure. So after that, I set off, and I still had about like 3 hours to go before I could get home, because I had made the very smart decision of driving home directly after the con, driving all 6 hours, because it was gonna take 6 hours for me to get home, which would have brought me home at about like midnight, and I was fine with that. And I was prepared for that. I've driven that far before, as an attendee for a convention, actually. Like, I've driven like 7 hours for a convention before. I can handle it. I've handled it before. So about like 2 hours before I get home, I stop for gas. I stopped for gas at this middle of fucking nowhere gas station. It was like nothing. It was highway on one side, forest on the other. There was nothing else around for miles. And I fill up my gas tank, and it was fine. And I decide to go into the store. Well, no, actually, after I fill up my gas tank, I decide to drive my car like the 10 feet over to the little parking area, because I plan to go in the bathroom and like buy a Coke or something as I was in there. And my car doesn't start. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm turning my key, and my car is not doing anything. It's not responding at all. And it's an old car. It's a 2003 Honda Accord. It's an old ass car. I was like, is this it? Is this the end for my car that I spent like $5,000 fucking dollars on that I can't afford to replace? Is this the end? And no, luckily it's not the end. We'll get to that. So I'm like, oh shit. Because I had just had my car serviced like a month before this. I had paid the money for it. I remember, because I remember coming in with I remember like getting some money for a freelance job, and I was very happy about it because I could pay off some of my credit card bills. And then something happened with my car. I don't really remember what exactly. We had to get it serviced, and then we found out that the battery was kind of low, basically. It was pretty close to dying, so we got a new battery and had it replaced, and that ate up all my freelance money, which sucks, but you know how it is. So, but I have a new battery. So my car, oil was changed, new battery. It should have been in completely fine shape, in completely great shape. It should have been totally fine, but it wouldn't start. So I was like, fuck. Did we screw up? Did the guys who I had replace my battery, did they screw up or something, and my battery is not running anymore? Because it seemed like if there was any problem, it would be the battery, right? Because we just like messed with that part of the car, right? So
So I call my dad. It's like 10 o'clock at night, by the way. I'm literally like 2 hours away from home. I call my dad, and I can tell he's like tired, and he's like, why did you call me? Is there something bad going on? Because I wouldn't have called him unless something bad was going on. So I tell him, and he comes all the way to this gas station in the middle of nowhere and tries to jump my car, tries to jump my battery. It doesn't work. It's not the battery. So I'm like, oh, so I'm just fucked then. And oh, as I was doing this also, I was trying to get progressive roadside assistance. But it turns out you have to specifically add that to your insurance plan, progressive roadside assistance. If you don't, you have to pay out of pocket, and I didn't have the money to pay out of pocket for a tow. So, or somebody to help fix my car. So I didn't have the money for that, and so I was just sitting in this car in the humid heat, because I couldn't turn on I could turn on my car. I could turn it on so that I could turn on the air conditioning, but I couldn't start the actual engine. So I was just sitting in this car with, I did eventually go to the bathroom in that gas station. It was disgusting. It smelled like piss. And I got a Coke to keep myself awake as I was having this crisis. And I was just sat in front of this gas pump and about to cry. I was crying. I was in a bad state. And I waited for 2 hours for my dad to get there. We tried to jump the car. It didn't work. So we called a tow truck and loaded up all of my stuff into my dad's car so that we could take it home. And we were just gonna lock up my car and leave it for some tow guy to get it and deal with it later. And I was on my last fucking leg at this point. I was having a crisis. I was so done with this car. And I was very upset. So I get in my dad's car, we start driving away. 20 minutes down the road, as I am crying and ranting to my dad about how my life is a disaster and how these things keep constantly happening to me and how I am just so fucked by life. And we get a call. He gets a call from the tow guy, and the tow guy got my car started up. It turns out it was a problem with the starter. The starter was the problem. And if I had jiggled my key a little, it would have started. Because apparently that's a pretty common problem with cars when they get old, that their starter kind of starts to suck and you have to jiggle your key some. So we drive back so that I can get this car. He leaves it running so that it won't die spontaneously as we're making our way back. And so we head back to that gas station in the middle of nowhere. And we still ended up paying the tow guy. I don't think we should have paid him the full amount, but whatever. Anyway, I owe my dad a lot of money now. And I get in the car and I drive and I drive and I drive. And I needed to pee so bad again by the time I got home. But I couldn't stop because I was no, I can't stop. If I leave this car, if I turn off this car, it will die forever. And I need to at least have it at the house if I do that. So I made it to the house. And I was falling asleep because at this point it was 4 a.m. It was so late. And I was dying. And I made it home and I parked the car and I turned it off. And I go inside and I take a shower, and by the time I finally lay down in my bed, it's 5 a.m. and I'm just Still kind of in a crisis, but at least I'm in my own bed in my own house. And yeah, that was all the fallout that I dealt with. We eventually took my car to get repaired again, and they completely replaced the starter, which wasn't as expensive as I expected it to be, but still pretty expensive. And yeah, they replaced the starter, so now my car works again. It actually works a lot better now because apparently my starter was very close to dying for like a year. And now it starts right up and it's super like loud and ready to go. It's a good car. Even though I've had some problems with it recently, other than that, it's like a very good solid car. And I do hope that it lasts for a long time. I think I hope it lasts for a long time because I don't have the money to replace it right now. And I probably won't for a long time. So yeah, that was my final Supercon adventure. The whole car crisis. Now my car is okay, thankfully, and I'm never driving it to Miami again. The end. And that was my super fun weekend at Supercon. The next convention I have is a first-year convention in Gainesville, Florida. I don't know how it's going to be. It's InfinityCon Gainesville. So InfinityCon is a con that has been running in Tallahassee for a while. I don't know if it's any good. I have never been to any Tallahassee cons. But I have been to a con in Gainesville before. It was Swamp Con, and it was run actually by UF students, University of Florida students, and it was one of the best cons I've ever been to. I made a lot of money. It was so great. Everybody was so nice. It was so I'm hoping that because InfinityCon is in it's during the school year. And it's pretty close to parts of the University of Florida campus. So I'm hoping that it'll be good. I don't think it'll be good as Supercon, because Supercon was on the campus. It was in the Rights Union, which is like their fancy ballroom building where they have events and stuff. And they also have a bunch of student centers there. It's like nicer than a bunch of airports I've been into. It's a very nice building. And it was also free for students, so I don't know if InfinityCon is going to be as good as that, but it's going to be during the school year, and it's going to be pretty close, so I'm hoping it'll at least be decent. And Gainesville is close enough to me that I can drive there, like, just drive there without having to stay in a house or anything, or a hotel or anything. That is my upcoming convention. It's a first-year convention. I have no idea how it's going to go. But it was cheap, and it's within driving distance, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Probably. I hope. And then I have WasabiCon in October, which is always... that's like the big one in this area in Jacksonville. I about broke even last year. I think that I would probably do better. I think I will probably do better this year, because I will probably have some more inventory that people will like for that one. I'm working on more Dungeon Meshy stuff. I am planning on working on some like One Piece stuff. I am a casual One Piece enjoyer. I enjoy One Piece, and I know that a lot of other people do too, and they seem like fun to draw, so I'd like to make some One Piece stuff. There is some merch that I will never make, no matter how popular it gets. I will never make Has-Been Hotel merch. I would literally rather kill myself. Because that would mean watching Has-Been Hotel, and I am not doing that ever. Ever, 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 ever. I would rather jump off a bridge. I fucking can't stand it. I only make merch for stuff that I at least kind of enjoy. Like, I haven't made any Jujutsu Kaisen merch because I tried reading it and I was like, nah, this is too battle anime for me. I'm sorry. I'm not making any Demon Slayer merch because I just kind of thought Demon Slayer was pretty mid. It's a mid manga with a decent anime. because UFO Table makes good anime. That's about it. I'm not sure what else I'm going to make by then. I'm gonna have all of my Genshin stickers done by then, and then I can finally move on to something else. I only have like 4 left, which is crazy. I can't believe I did all that. Yep, those are my plans for the next few months. I don't know, and then I guess there will probably be holiday shows pretty soon. So who knows? Who knows how the rest of this year is going to turn out? I hope that the economy starts to turn up. Once the election ends, I hope things stabilize. I really hope they do. But yeah, that is my whole Bold Matsuri and Supercon adventure, and now I am done recording this video and my throat kind of hurts. I need some water. I'm gonna need to be editing this pretty soon. I will see you all later. Thanks for listening to my dumb video about my dumb nerd shit. Goodbye!